What up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. Mike.
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Well, you gonna run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to, I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Girl. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. What he had on looked like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Iyanla Vanzant's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup, clumped here everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. And Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see you. Hit me up in my DMs because I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, jock strap, something like that. I'd love to see it. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
All right. I'm pumped. Oh, I keep saying you would think that I have enough time with 3+ minutes to get my life in order. But clearly that ain't enough time. But we're here. Hey y'all. Hey. Oh, where did my voice go? Hey. Hey. What's up, y'all? We are here to talk a little politics today. I don't even know if the notifications went out. Hold on, y'all. I gotta do one more thing before I get started. One more thing. All right, I'm back. Had to do something real fast, but we are back here. Excuse me. So y'all, uh, um, we got a whole lot of things to cover today. Um, I'm clamoring to see if I can get through it all, but I'm gonna do the damn best I can. I'm gonna do my damnedest to get through it all. So, all right, let me open this one first. So, yes, listen. Hey, Tracy. Oh, we ain't got there yet, Tracy. We ain't got there yet. We are not there yet. When we do get there, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, okay? Ah, we have not gotten there yet. Lord, don't worry. We'll get there. So, well, hello, Tracy. How is your day going? Hey, Cams, you better get that shit written, Cams. You better get it written. If you need any help editing, let me know. That's what I do. And I done got paid a couple $1,000s, not a couple, a few $1,000s to write someone's dissertation for their doctorate. But these are things that we do. Hey, Volvo. Hey, Cookie. What's going on? Child, the nude beach, everything. I had a good time. I started to go live, but then it would have been kind of a violation of the YouTube rules, so I didn't. Um, listen. Um, if you got sugar, let me just go ahead and do this now. This whole live today is a sugar spike. Like this is just this whole politics of it all is just spiky. There's no way around it. There's nothing I can do. I can't try to ease you in. I can't try to make it more, not sugar spiky. It's just sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar spike after fucking sugar spike. Just fucking endless sugar spikes in this fucker. That's all I got for y'all today. Don't say you were not warned. I already have no palate cleansers. I don't have nothing for you. Go ahead and get you some snack on. That's gonna help you regulate your sugar levels because that's all we got going on. Just sugar, sugar, and more sugar, 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 and more sugar. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. Except this is happening. So do not say you were not warned. Hey, Cams, I'll be having to get that money, honey. I don't do as much writing for people now, like only upon request. But back in my heyday, when I was like, I used to make a killing off of writing like papers for people's master's program or doctoral program. That's all I used to do, man. That's a very lucrative business. It can be very time consuming, which is why it's a lucrative business because you can charge people astronomical prices and know that they're going to pay it because they done took away hours of your life. But yeah, child, you got new hot chew flavors? Child. Anyway, so y'all, I don't even know where to begin. I'm gonna save that story right there for last. That's because that story right there is gonna make me have a real spite. Um, Let me go with one of the breaking stories from earlier, maybe about 2, 3 hours ago. This story broke. I'll start here, and then we can. I'll start with this story, and then we can go from there. I had a really good salad today for lunch. It was so good. All right, so the Justice Department is suing the state of Idaho over their abortion ban. Um, so Attorney General Merrick Garland has repeatedly said that the Department of Justice, quote, is going to use every tool we have to ensure reproductive freedom, end quote, and has been reviewing their options. The Department of Justice filed a lawsuit Tuesday arguing that Idaho's near total abortion ban violates federal law. The Biden administration's first legal action to protect abortion access since the Supreme Court overturned the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision in late June. In making the announcement at the Department of Justice's headquarters, Attorney Merrick Garland's Attorney General Merrick Garland told reporters that Idaho's ban violates a federal law that requires medical providers to offer emergency medical treatment. Under the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, EMTALA, every hospital in the United States that receives Medicare funds must provide, quote, necessary stabilizing treatment to patients who arrive at their emergency departments while experiencing a medical emergency. The 17-page complaint reads, in some circumstances, the necessary medical treatment is an abortion. This may be the case, for example, when a woman is undergoing a miscarriage that threatens septic infection or hemorrhage, or is suffering from severe preeclampsia. So, preeclampsia, Garland said. Idaho's law, which is set to take effect on August 25th, quote, will make it a felony to perform an abortion in all but extremely narrow circumstances. End quote, the complaint said, including when doctors provide emergency medical treatment required by federal law. The suit seeks a declaratory judgment stating that Idaho's law violates the Constitution's Supremacy Clause and is preempted and conflicts with federal law. It also all of this smoke that y'all want to have for Idaho. What was this smoke for the Supreme Court? What was all of this, Merrick Garland, when fucking Mississippi was passing its laws, and Texas was passing its laws, and Florida was passing its laws? But now you want to go bully Idaho. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm here for all of the protections of women's rights, and let's be clear. But it just feels like too little too late to me. Like, I just really feel like, girl, whatever. We'll see how far it goes, because guess what will end up happening? It's going to have to go through the judicial system, the same judicial system that is aligned with conservative judges in the circuits that are there to do the bidding of right-wing Republicans. If not for Rand Paul, your own Democrat voted into office sitting president right now, Joseph Robinette Biden, would have confirmed another judge for a lifetime appointment that was pro-life, that wanted nothing to do with abortion rights, that wanted nothing to do with the rights of the disenfranchised women or anything else. Joe Biden was appointing him to federal judgeship, talking about he had brokered some deal with Mitch McConnell. Like, this shit is fucking asinine. Like, this, it baffles the mind. So I can't even blame the Republican side. Mm-mm. Can't blame them. Can't blame them at all. You want to know why? Because we're going against our own best interests. Interest, I should say. You have a sitting Democrat president who was about to appoint a judge to a lifetime appointment on the federal bench, who is a known anti-abortion judge, who's known to be anti-voting rights, who's known to be about all of the things that the crazy Yahoo ass right-wing conservatives want. In a whole thing about, oh, I brokered some deal with Mitch McConnell. Fuck Mitch McConnell and fuck you, Joseph Biden. Fuck both of y'all. Fuck you, Mitch McConnell. And fuck you, Joseph Biden. If not for the fact that we had to be saved from this by the likes of Rand fucking Paul, you gotta be fucking shit, man. I told y'all this was just a sugar spiky ass fucking show today. It's just where we are today. But y'all don't expect this to be a bloodbath. In more news of Democrats or people professing to be Democrats, yet doing horrible things. What's up, Social Jeff? Yet doing horrible things. I mean, that whole thing about Biden about to appoint that guy to the federal bench was appalling and disrespectful to the electorate that got him there. But wait, it gets better. Oh, remember I was talking to you all about that congressional race over there. Oh, you got your vaccine? You got a monkeypox vaccine appointment for the. Okay, good. Go ahead and get it, honey. I already got my first one. It hurt though. It hurt like hell. Like it's not. It doesn't hurt anymore. But that thing was sore for like. Oh, I know it was sore. Like I got mine on Thursday. Even Monday, like yesterday, it wasn't as sore, but it was still a little bit. So like if I touch it right now, I can feel it a little bit, but it don't hurt like it did. But it was sore for about 3 or 4 days. That thing was real sore. I'm like, oh girl. But the alternative is worse, and I don't want no parts of it. Chat. Anyway, oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to say like, share, subscribe, and all of that stuff. Like the video, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. But my mods already know I put the video in the mod chat. So we are going to do that at some point during this live. We're going to do that thing where you're supposed to listen. I'll show y'all. I think it's a viral video at this point, but I'm going to see if it works for y'all like it did for me. And it'll serve as our palate cleanser. All right. So remember that congressional seat that I told y'all about in southern Texas over there close to San Antonio with Jessica Cisneros and Henry Cuellar? Remember that? Child. This is why I told you the fucking establishment Democrats are fucking bullshit. The Nancy Pelosi's of the world, the Jim Clyburns of the world, the Chuck Schumers of the world. All of these fucktards are fucking bullshit. And let me tell you why. Hey, Yana. So Cuellar, the one who they funneled millions of dollars into to assure that Jessica Cisneros, who is a progressive, would not get that would not win that primary, and that Cuellar who's pro, he's anti-abortion, he's pro-life. Cuellar, who's pro-gun rights and pro all things guns and everything. That one who claims to be a Democrat, but then does things like this. Let me tell you what this fucktard did. And this is the ones who they were stomping for, who the Democratic National Committee has funneled millions of dollars into his campaign. Okay. And this is stuff for, if it's not enough that he's anti-abortion, if he's not enough that he's anti-gun laws or gun restrictions, here's even more. A coalition of 40 labor and social justice groups on Monday sounded the alarm over anti-worker legislation recently introduced by right-wing Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar of Texas and two House Republicans, because that's what you do to show us that you are truly a Democrat. You put the D in front of your name, but then you pass legislation with two Republicans. Let me keep reading. The Worker Power Coalition, which represents 24 million workers, took aim at the Dangerous Worker Flexibility and Choice Act, WFCA, which was unveiled last month by Cuellar, along with GOP Representative Elise Stefanik of New York and GOP Representative Michelle Steele of California. Experts warn the bill would gut key parts of the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938, impacting not only gig workers employed by ride-hailing giants like Lyft and Uber or DoorDash, but also other companies want to skirt minimum wage and overtime, but other companies who want to skirt minimum wage and overtime protections. All right. So let me read that again because I know there was a lot in that paragraph. It was real wordy, but I'm gonna oh yeah, that is the one that Nancy Pelosi endorsed. That is the one that Jim Clyburn and the people went there the day after the Uvalde shootings to go stomp for and support. The same guy who's anti-gun restrictions, the same guy who's anti-abortion, the same guy who wants nothing to do with the laws that are going to protect voter rights, but is claiming to be a goddamn Democrat. He is passing these. He's authoring this bill along with two fucking Republicans. And this bill, once again, is called the Worker Flexibility and Choice Act. Let me read that paragraph again to explain to you what this bill does, because this is some fuck shit that people really need to be aware of because it will affect people. There's a lot of people who do DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, and a lot of the little delivery of ride share services because it does allow them to get money, but a lot of things could stop this. So let me read this again. Experts warn the bill would gut parts of the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938, impacting not only gig workers employed by ride-hailing giants like Lyft and Uber or food delivery services like DoorDash, but other companies who want to skirt minimum wage and overtime protections. Nicole Moore, a part-time Lyft driver and the president of Coalition Members Rideshare Drivers United, pointed to the battle over Proposition 22 in California, an industry-backed ballot measure that enabled app-based companies to classify workers as independent contractors rather than employees, but was struck down in state court. Quote, Uber and Lyft poured 200 million into Prop 22 in California to take away our rights to unemployment benefits, workplace safety, and sick time, all during a global pandemic. Now they're trying to do it federally. Legalizing the misclassification of app-based workers would deny hundreds of thousands of workers essential workplace protections and amount to billions of dollars in corporate handouts to a multi-billion-dollar industry. So let me finish reading it, then we'll parcel this out as only we can here. According to the Hill, Uber and Lyft have not publicly commented on the proposal. The companies directed the Hill to the Coalition for Workforce Innovation, a group both Uber and Lyft are members of, for comment. Evan Armstrong, the chair of the Coalition for Workforce Innovation, said the proposal provides, quote, clarity and rules of the road for independent workers and businesses. The bipartisan bill strikes a balance to promote independent work while ensuring more options for benefits, support, and protections. Meanwhile, Jimmy Williams, president of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, another coalition member, directed criticism at Cuellar and called on Democrats in Congress to pass the Protecting the Right to Organize Act. The latest attack on working people by Representative Cuellar is proof positive that elections matter. Representative Cuellar voted against the PRO Act, which would fix worker mixed classification to side with billionaire executives in Silicon Valley over his constituents. Cuellar narrowly won a May runoff election against two-time progressive primary challenger Jessica Cisneros in Texas's 28th congressional district. The vote was 300 votes. He won by 300 votes. Let's be clear. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, and House Majority Whip James Clyburn faced criticism for backing the anti-choice, anti-worker incumbent. Justice Democrats, which supported Cisneros, highlighted in an email Monday that, quote, Pelosi helped conservative anti-abortion Democrat Henry Cuellar win. Now Cuellar has a new bill with Republicans to eviscerate labor protections in America. Cuellar is doing the bidding of gig companies like Uber and DoorDash, who exploit workers by classifying them as independent contractors. This is a terrible bill that could pass with the support of Republicans and corporate Democrats like Cuellar. Cuellar's position on labor standards is one of the reasons Justice Democrats backed Cisneros in Texas's 28th district, but Pelosi, Cuellar, and big corporate money won. So let's break this down. Henry Cuellar, Democrat on paper, has what this bill would do is, because California passed, what they had over there was Proposition 22, and in California it meant that DoorDash, Lyft, and all of those workers, Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, ride sharing or delivery services, those workers were classified as independent contractors, meaning they would not be afforded all of the other things that come with you being a contracted employee, like workers' comp, healthcare benefits, sick leave, um, maternity leave, and all of those things that go along with when you have an employee. When you have an employee, you have to pay into Social Security and all types of other, different things that come along with that. So now they're presenting this bill. There was a bill, excuse me, that was and they talked about that bill. It was the bill was called the Protecting the Right to Organize Act, or PRO Act, PRO Act, which would have said that these people for these companies are actual employees. You can't classify them as independent contractors. But Cuellar, along with these Republicans, have said we're going to make it a federal law. We're putting this federal law on the floor that would make it a from sea to shining sea in all of the territories law that if you are, hey Tabitha, if you are a person that does one of these jobs, Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, all of those things, you will be officially classified an independent contractor in every state federally, meaning no maternity leave, no sick leave, no health care benefits, no workers comp, no all of the things that and all of that things that come along with that, which is which is what they've been complaining about the whole time. The whole time. Because you got companies like Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and all of they are making billions of dollars a year, hundreds of billions of dollars. So they have more than enough money to pay for the medical expenses or to pay all of the things that go along with having these people classified as employees. Also, many of the health insurance companies and all of the other well, I'll call it the HR bucket that when you first start working for a company, you have to do all of the HR paperwork, do your W-4 form so you can make sure they take out all of the taxes and Social Security and do all of your health and benefit stuff and all of that stuff. Companies, hey Jay Parrish, give discounts and things like that to other large companies because based on the number of employees, if you got a whole lot of employees, the amount that you pay is going to be significantly lower. You also get kickbacks on the back end too, but they ain't gonna tell you that either. But my point that I'm trying to make is this: these companies are profiting off of this. These ride sharing companies are and delivery services are a lucrative business. They are making billions and billions and billions of dollars on the backs of people who are out there doing this work but have no benefits. If you get sick, baby, you on your own. You're gonna have to go pay it out your pocket. If you pregnant and you can't work and got to go on maternity leave, baby, you on your own. Baby, if you get hit on the job or if you break a limb on the job, baby, you on your own. We don't have no workman's comp, just independent contractors. Baby, you think you paying in the Social Security? No, you don't, because when you go file your taxes, they're gonna tell you you owe this amount of money. And so yeah, you got Democrats that are backing this, that are authoring this bill. Henry Cuellar, yep, the same Henry Cuellar, who Nancy Pelosi and Jim Clyburn and Hoyer and all of the people have supported. But see, you got people who talking about, oh, I don't care about politics, but politics will care about you. This what y'all got going on. This what y'all got going on. These are alleged Democrats. Dear God. While we're here, since we're spiking out and we're talking about these big companies that do horrible things, Tabitha, did you hear about this? Tabitha, Tabitha, I thought you would have heard about this. I thought I would have saw this scroll across your social media. So Airbnb is in the news since we're talking about these companies. Airbnb is in the news because they've finally decided to remove a slave cabin from one of their rental properties. Airbnb removed a listing in Greenville, Mississippi after backlash over its advertisement in as an quote 1830s slave cabin end quote where enslaved people previously lived on a plantation. I told y'all, nothing but spikes here. Let me read that again because I don't think people quite heard it. Let me read that again. Because I told y'all it was nothing but sugar spikes over here today. Nothing but sugar spikes. Let me read that again. Airbnb has removed a listing in Greenville, Mississippi after backlash over its advertisement as an 1830s slave cabin where enslaved people previously lived on a plantation. What do y'all want me to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? Like, what do y'all really want me to do with that? Let me keep reading. The cabin sits beside a 9,000 square foot mansion with 9 bedrooms circa 1857. Because we don't know what that big house was used for that's next to this smaller house. We have no idea what that was used for, right? Hey, Travel Love. Hey, my love. The Washington Post reports per screenshots of the now deleted listing, the home was advertised as, quote, the last remaining antebellum mansion standing, end quote, in the area. What do y'all want me to do with that? The cabin, known as Panther Burn Cabin, was renovated into a luxury getaway, according to New Orleans civil rights attorney Wynton Yates. A TikTok video by Yates calling out the listing racked up over 2 million views. The hit quote, the history of slavery in this country is constantly denied, and now it's being mocked by being turned into a luxurious vacation spot. End quote, Yates said on his original video. Airbnb removed the post shortly after. Quote, properties that formerly housed the enslaved have no place on Airbnb. We apologize for any trauma or grief created by the presence of this listing and others like it, and that we did not act sooner to address the issue. That's according to Airbnb spokesperson Ben Bright. Now, the fact that you had to say and others like it, let me read that again. We apologize for any trauma or grief created by the presence of this listing and others like it, and that we did not act sooner to address the issue. What the hell do y'all want me to do with this? In an additional statement to the Washington Post, the cabin's owner, Brad Hauser, said he took ownership of the property last month and that he, quote, strongly opposed, end quote, the previous owner advertising the cabin this way. Hauser said the cabin was actually used as the plantation doctor's office and never housed slaves. Really? Really? Because you know that for sure, right? Because you were around in the 1800s, right? Hey, Diamond Pearl Jim. However, the previous owner chose to advertise that it did. Hauser said he was only recently made aware of the listing, which he called, quote, crazy and insulting. He also went on to say, I am not interested in making money off slavery. I intend to do all I can to right a terrible wrong and hopefully again regain advertising on Airbnb so the Belmont can contribute to the most urgent demand for truth telling about the history of not only the South but the entire nation. Hauser said in a statement. Here's the thing. I believe no parts of you, Mr. Hauser, saying that, oh, I just recently bought this property and that's what the previous person had up there. I ain't had that up there. From what I understand, that was the doctor's office. Really, really. Even if you tell me that it was the alleged doctor's office, do you know the atrocities that happened to slaves in doctors' offices? We've talked about this on this channel that the entire medical field of obstetrics and gynecology is based on the backs, blood, shed, and slaughter and butchering and maiming of black women. Every medical advance we have in this country came at the behest and the death of black people. So even if I were to go along with your whole estimation that, oh no, this couldn't have been a slave dwelling, no, this was the doctor's office. That ain't making it no better. What do y'all want me? I told y'all. I told y'all this was a sugar spiking episode. I don't know what y'all want me to do with this. Okay. I don't know what y'all want me to do. Now, the fact that Airbnb said, I'm still holding on to the fact that Airbnb said, and others like it, means that there are probably more out there. Tear all this shit down. Just burn the whole state of Mississippi down to the ground. Burn it to the ground. While you're at it, burn Alabama down too. Rebuild it all. Hell, at this point, burn everything south of the Mason-Dixon line down. Burn it all down and rebuild it. Shit. Damn mess. Just a goddamn mess. Tabitha, I thought you would have had that on your social media. Let me continue reading. The use of plantation properties has come under increasing scrutiny as some have become popular wedding and event venues, a highly criticized practice that has placed pressure on wedding sites like Zola and the Knot to remove post romanticizing plantation weddings and aesthetics. Excuse me. In 2020, stars Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively apologized for their South Carolina plantation wedding in 2012, saying, quote, what we saw at the time was a wedding venue on Pinterest. What we saw after was a place built upon devastating tragedy. I don't buy it, Ryan Reynolds. Get your life. I wonder if this is, I wonder if they're doing the same thing on VRBO, because you know VRBO advertises, hey NK Universe, um, VRBO advertises like the big houses where you can have multiple people. So you can probably imagine that they got plantation big houses and slave quarters over there advertised. Somebody probably go look on VRBO. I'm sure it's over there. Oh yeah. But remember, oh, you talked about it on your Instagram? I didn't even see it. But remember, there was no slavery here in America. None of that happened. No. No slavery here, not in these yet to be United States of America. We never had anything called slavery. What are they calling it now in Texas? Involuntary relocations. That's what they're calling it. No slavery, just involuntary relocations. Dear God. Oh no, these weren't the slave quarters. This was the doctor's office. Mind you, the doctor might have killed, maimed, bludgeoned, and butchered hundreds, if not thousands, of slaves while they were trying to make medical advances. But no, at least it wasn't the slave quarters. I told y'all this live today is riddled and mired in sugar spikes. Regulate your sugar levels however you can. That's all I can tell you at this point. Regulate your sugar levels. Where do we go next? Where to next? These people only care about making money off the backs of blacks and anybody else, and they're lying about child. You better say it louder. In another story that I saw yesterday, let me read this because I told y'all we spiking out today, just a real sugar spike. The title of this article says Oklahoma uses racist education law to punish schools for offending white people. Let me read this to you. Oklahoma's Board of Education punished two school districts arguing some of their exercises illegally made participants feel uncomfortable about their race. An Oklahoma law meant to protect fragile white psyches from facing the reality of bigotry is being put to the test. The Oklahoma State Board of Education punished two school districts for trainings apparently deemed to injurious seem too injurious to white kids and teachers. The board voted 4-2 to lower the status of Tulsa Public Schools to accredited with warning on Thursday after the state Department of Education determined an implicit bias training for teachers in August 2021 violated House Bill 1775, the law which restricts discussions of race and sex in public schools is widely seen as targeting critical race theory. The state investigation began after a complaint from a teacher who has not been publicly identified. Let me keep reading. As with the Oklahoma law, Republicans across the country have been targeting virtually any lesson addressing social inequality, decrying them as harmful to students and often mislabeling them as critical race theory to rile their base. The complaint against Tulsa Public Schools involved a training video in which teachers were advised to be, quote, aware of our own inherent biases as well as historical biases against minorities, end quote, according to the Oklahoman. Let me read that again so we can see what's so horrible and what is, you know, hurting, harming, and this the psyches of white people across the great state of Oklahoma. Here's what Here's what it said to get the complaint against Tulsa Public Schools involved a training video in which teachers were advised to be, quote, aware of our own inherent biases as well as historical biases against minorities. That's what the problem is. That passing mention was apparently so traumatizing to the educator in question, identified by public radio Tulsa as right wing activist and science teacher Amy Cook, that she filed a complaint saying some of the training materials, quote, shame white people for past offenses in history, end quote. She apparently needs to be reminded that non-white people have feelings too. I love this article. It's written by one of my favorite columnists, Jahan Jones. Love him. Anyway, Oklahoma's education board also demoted Mustang Public Schools to accredited with warning after district after the district accused one of its teachers of making students, quote, feel uncomfortable during an anti bullying exercise. As a part of that lesson, students were reportedly asked whether they've experienced or engaged in discrimination or bullying. Let me say that again. In this particular incident, students were reportedly, it was because of an anti-bullying and exercise. Students were reportedly asked whether they've experienced or engaged in discrimination or bullying, and that allegedly made white people feel uncomfortable enough that they needed to make a complaint. So the entirety of a school district is about to be demoted and is, has been demoted, I should say. And if anything else happens, could have their accreditation taken. Make it make sense. I should remind you, I think last time I checked, Oklahoma was ranked like 46 or 47 out of 50 in terms of education. What do y'all want me to do with this? Since we're on the subject of schools and talking about schools and what they can and cannot do, y'all don't think that we weren't going to hit part of the holy trinity of racism and bigotry. We know what the holy trinity of racism and bigotry is: Florida, Texas, and North Carolina. North Carolina is the silent member, but they are just as racist as the other 2 points in the holy trinity of racism and bigotry: Florida, Texas, and North Carolina. Let me tell you what one of those members of the Trinity did. This is Florida, my home state. Florida's Department of Education, backed by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, Ron death sentence, had advised schools not to follow federal guidelines that protect transgender youth. Let me read that again. Because you need to hear this. Let me read that again for y'all in the back. Florida Department of Education, backed by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, has advised schools not to follow federal guidelines that protect transgender youth. The DeSantis administration may be the most overtly autocratic governorship in the country right now, a fact made clear by its attempts to suppress marginalized voters, whitewash history, punish companies that don't acquiesce to DeSantis' wishes, and force LGBTQ people into the shadows. On that last point, DeSantis and company have already pushed a host of measures meant to prohibit discussions about gender identity in schools, including including bans on LGBTQ related lessons in class and bans on gender confirming care for young trans people. Now the administration is taking its obsession with trans people even further. On Thursday, the Florida Department of Education sent a memo to education officials warning they could face repercussions if they followed the Biden administration's newest Title IX guidelines, which were proposed in June and include protections from discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. The memo called the federal guidelines non-binding because I'm sorry, the memo called the federal guidelines not non-binding because they're currently in the public comment stage and having officially gone into effect. Commissioner Manny Diaz Jr. told schools they should not, quote, modify your practices or procedures based on these documents, end quote. His memo warns against things like letting trans kids use facilities such as bathrooms and locker rooms that align with their gender identity. And it also suggests schools should not let trans kids play sports or stay in rooms on class trips with students who align with their gender identity. Quote, to the extent that you do any of these things, you jeopardize the safety and well being of Florida students and risk violating Florida law, end quote. Florida has already enacted homophobic and transphobic laws under the guise of protecting kids. Those include the LGBTQ education ban, known by critics as the Don't Say Gay bill, and a ban on trans girls playing on youth sports teams that align with their gender identity. But this can't be said. Um, but this can't be said enough. Such claims are bigoted, unscientific, and demonstrably harmful to children. I don't need to read no more. So you are advising school districts to blatantly defy federal Title IX laws, which means that they could possibly risk not receiving not Title IX funds. Like schools receive a healthy amount of money, school districts from Title IX that are federal funds. And so Governor Death Sentence and his band of merry men down to the Florida Department of Education have decided to tell school districts, don't worry about that. Y'all ain't got to follow that. Y'all do what we tell y'all to do. Don't worry about that. Let's see how this ends. Because what they're saying is when we tell you to be bigoted, hateful, and discriminatory towards children, we mean that. But we're still protecting the children. Think about the kids. We ain't thinking about their raggedy asses, but you should always be thinking about the kids. I stinking asses don't give a shit about the kids, but you should always be thinking about the kids. This what y'all got going on. I think this is an appropriate time for our palate cleanser. Let me get this prepared. It's really not a palate cleanser, y'all. So I put this in the mod squad chat, y'all. So there's this viral video that's going on. I want to say it's similar to, remember that viral video with the dress where it was either white and brown or white and green, or no, it was either white and green or it was blue and brown. Remember that? And everybody said they saw a different thing, right? So there's a new viral video about, but this isn't what you see, it's what you hear. And in this viral video, I'm gonna show it to y'all and then y'all will get it. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm just gonna set it up and then y'all will get it at that point. All right. Because I don't watch this video like 85 times. And every time I've watched it, yeah, I'm just gonna let it play and y'all go from there, okay? All right. All right. So let me adjust the, let me take my overlay down. Let me share screen. And we want to share system audio because you do need to hear this. All right. So it's a TikTok video. You might have seen this. All right. Pay attention to the video. Oh, it started too fast. All right. We ready? All right. Pay attention.
You will only hear the word you are reading. You will only hear the word you are reading. You will only hear the word you are reading. You will only hear the word you are reading. You will only hear the word you are reading.
Now, the more I listen to it, the more I hear green needles. Like this time, even when I looked at brainstorm, I didn't hear brainstorm. I heard brain needle. But the first time I heard either green needle or brainstorm. But this time, the more I listened to it, the more I would hear, when I would look at brainstorm, I would hear brain needle. Did it work for y'all? Did you live? But the first 85 times I watched it, now we're going to ignore the fact that there's a large slab of beef sitting in the middle of this young man's pants. Just going to ignore that. But did it work for y'all? Like, did you hear either green needles or brainstorm? Because the first 85 times I watched it, I either heard one or the other. I'm just saying. Did it work for y'all? Did it work for y'all? Put my overlay back up. I don't know. I just want to know if it worked for y'all. I'm gonna put the link in the chat because you may want the link. So let me put the link in the chat if I can. Hold on. All right, there's the link. So, but did it work for y'all? Y'all ain't telling me nothing. Did it work for y'all like it did for me? Like I literally either only heard green needles or brainstorm whenever I looked at one. But now that I watched it probably at this point close to 100 times, don't judge me. Because it took me like the first 45 times to really look or listen because I was just, I mean, to look at the words or listen because I was really kind of looking at meat. But I know the first 45 times, Tabitha, I wasn't. But then after like around 45, 46, I said, well, I probably need to see what they're talking about. So then I started reading. And it did work those times when I kept playing it over and over and over. Did it work for you? Did you listen, Tabitha? Did it work for you? I don't know. Anyway, that was our palate cleanser of the day. I'll put the link in the chat in case you want the link. All right. So I'm gonna do just one more story because it's been real spiky today, like real sugar spiky today. And this last story is gonna take a lot out of me. This last story is probably as spiky as we're gonna get. Um, I'm trying to see. Wait, no, before I get to, I'm gonna do two more stories because there's one that I did need to do. I had on my list to do. So I'm gonna do that one. I was going to do the story about the black family that owned the horse. Tabitha, did you hear about that black family that owned the horse that took the horse to the veterinarian and the horse magically ended up dead? Child. Magically this black family horse ended up dead. Did you hear about that, Tabitha? I'm gonna give that story to Tabitha and let Tabitha parcel that out for y'all. Cause I don't, it's been real spiky over here. I don't know how much more I only have in me these last two stories. So I'm gonna give that story to Tabitha. Just hand that, here you go, Tabitha. You can have that story about the black family. And they named the horse Black Lives Matter. And the veterinarian killed that horse. Sure did. Sure did. Okay, y'all. So in the great state of Georgia, you can now claim an embryo as a dependent on your tax returns. Let me read that for you again. In the great state of Georgia, who sometimes I feel is vying to become a part of the Holy Trinity, but I don't think nobody's going to, unseat our three members of the Holy Trinity. Anyway, in the great state of Georgia, you can now claim an embryo as a dependent on your tax returns. The Georgia Department of Revenue said Monday that in-state residents can claim embryos with a quote detectable human heartbeat end quote as dependents on their taxes. It added that an embryo with a detectable heartbeat has been added to the definition of dependent effective July 20th, the date of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruling, which allows all abortions in the state to be banned once a fetus, once a fetal heartbeat is detected by an ultrasound. The Supreme Court in late June overturned the Roe v. Wade decision that had established a constitutional right to abortion. Since that ruling, a number of states have moved to ban abortions. Georgia's own abortion law includes exceptions for rape and incest as long as a police report is filed. It also allows for later abortions in cases that the mother's life is at risk or a serious medical condition renders a fetus unviable. The July Circuit Court decision also redefined its personhood provision throughout Georgia law to include an embryo or fetus at any stage of development. The statement by Georgia Department of Revenue added that as of July 20th, taxpayers can claim an exemption in the amount of $3,000 per embryo. An exemption can be claimed if if a taxpayer has, quote, an unborn child or children with a end quote, with a detectable heartbeat, which the statement said may occur as early as 6 weeks gestation. Similar to any other deduction claimed on an income tax return, relevant medical records or other supporting documentation shall be provided to support the dependent deduction claimed if requested by the Department of Revenue. Let me keep reading. Lauren Growargo, the campaign manager for Georgia's Democratic gubernatorial nominee Stacey Abrams, tweeted on Tuesday, quote, "So what happens when you claim your fetus as a dependent and then miscarry later in the present pregnancy?" That's immediately what I thought about. You get investigated for both tax fraud and an illegal abortion. End quote. While Abrams did not reference the statement by the Georgia Department of Revenue, she added in a tweet on Tuesday that an abortion is, quote, a medical decision between a woman and her doctor, end quote, and that Georgia should not be a state where, quote, the governor makes it his decision to deny women medical care, end quote. This is a mess. I ain't gonna spend too much time. I told y'all this was coming. We warned you. We told you. We screamed it from the rooftops. And now that we're here, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? Moving on, because I've conserved all of the rest of my energy for this last story. Now, today was the first time I heard of this story. Apparently, this actually happened. And Tabitha, you may be aware of it because it happened in the Atlanta area. This happened in 2016, but it's come back up this year because of the trials and so forth. And this is the story of a black man by the name of Jamarian Robinson. So I'm not going to read the article. I'm just going to tell you what happened. And I believe it was August of 2016. Let me get that date for y'all. I'm sorry. Jamarian Robinson, who was a student, a biology student, he was at the time 26. In 2016, Jamarian Robinson was 26 years old. He was at his girlfriend's house in Clayton County in the great city of Atlanta. Y'all bear with me because there was a video of this and I watched the video, and even thinking about it now has traumatized my life. Jamarian was at his girlfriend's house. Clayton County police officers come there to serve some warrant. It has come out that it wasn't for Jamarian. It was not for Jamarian. However, they bust in there. They bust in there. He gets shot 59 times by the police and ends up with 76 gunshot wounds. Let me say that again. They fired 59 shots at him. He ended up with 76 gunshot wounds. The video that I saw, you don't see this happening. What you see is, because it looks like it must be close to like Clark, Atlanta or something like that, because what you see is this girl and her boyfriend, they're in a neighboring apartment and they're filming from the outside of the apartment, and you see the police eventually go in there and you hear the gunshots, and they say these are, and you hear it's just so many guns. And it's not like the recent killing where oh god, the young man's name escapes me, up in Ohio, who just got shot 60 plus times up there in Ohio. I can't think of his name, but that one was like right back to back. This one is a da 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 pause, da 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 pause, da 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 pause, da 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 pause. Now here's what I'm saying to you, and this goes on for several minutes, where gunshot after gunshot is being poured into this young man's body. That's why I was so I do not. You can Google the story, and the video is up there. And like I said, it doesn't show. It is not graphic at all. It doesn't show the young man. It doesn't show anything. Um, they told them purposely not to wear body cam footage. That has come out in the trial. They were told not to wear body cam footage. So the only images we have is from the video that's, like I said, from a neighboring apartment where they're showing the video of the people going in and you could just hear the gunshots. And so what I'm saying to you is if they shot this young man, they shot at him 59 times, and they're saying that he has 76 bullet wounds. I mean, gunshot wounds, because some of the bullets ricocheted and all kinds of other things going on. Anyway, that means that, and I'm telling you, the video is, I forgot how many minutes long, but it, like I said, it's not like all at one time. It's like they keep shooting, pause, shoot some more, pause. At that point, it's like they're mutilating this lifeless body at this point, which is what made it so much more horrific for me. Anyway, that ain't even the story. This happened way back in 2016. Clayton County um, police chief at the time and now is black. Clayton County's, and I got this story thanks to from Dr. Rashad Ritchie on Undisputable. Shout out to Undisputable, great show with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. But Clayton County, the whole city council is black. The police chief is black. Here's where the story gets interesting. The officers in question absolutely are white. Mhm. And after this murder of this black man, they decide that the officer involved, there's two officers that basically did all of the shooting, but the one who did the bulk of it was then assigned to teach the SWAT team, meaning he was the instructor or trainer for members joining the SWAT team over at the Clayton County Police Department in the great city of Atlanta, capital of the great state of New York. Not New York, Georgia. That got me all flustered and messed up. Saying New York, Georgia. So let's be clear. We have a young man whose body was brutally mutilated, horrifically mutilated. These young men, a grand jury has decided to indict them because they pled not guilty after a grand jury did indict these police officers. They pled not guilty, but the police chief, because it's still in court proceedings or whatnot, but the police chief decided that it was a good idea to give this man the duty of training all those officers who were going on the SWAT team at that point, because nothing says policing like using 59 shots in order to detain someone. I don't know what y'all want me to do with this. The young man's mother is still devastated, still devastated. I can't even imagine her, the mental anguish that goes into being that mother that has to sit there in that courtroom every day and look at these bastards. Wrong guy. Biology student at Tuskegee. Wrong guy. Jamarian Robinson. They claim at the time he had a gun. He is also, he was also, the mom testified at court, known to have mental um, uh, episodes. He was also diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and the police were aware of this when they went there. This is what y'all have going on in these yet to be United States of America. I, I know some of y'all are probably not getting the full scope of this. And like I said, there is a YouTube, it's the video is on YouTube. Um the video's on YouTube. So it apparently doesn't violate YouTube's, because it doesn't literally show the killing. It doesn't show anything that happened inside the apartment. It does show the police bursting in the apartment, but it's just the sobering noise and sound of these bullets that just keep coming and then pause and then more bullets and then pause and then more, like, really. Because somebody's going to ask, here you go, because I do not say you were not warned, and I know sometimes it doesn't do it justice. um yeah, it is, it's horrific. Tabitha, did you see the video? Like, the video is it's like I said, you go into it think, oh, it's not that bad, but when you start to realize, because even the girl on the video said those are bullets, and the guy that her boyfriend is like, hey, you need to be quiet because they might come over here, and she was like, they can't do nothing, and he was like, yes they can. It's, yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Tracy. I'm waiting for the aliens to come and beam me up. I'm just saying, just beam me up. This place here is not, is uninhabitable. It's just uninhabitable. It's not livable anymore. Like, this place is horrible. Meanwhile, COVID and monkeypox are running rampant through the streets. Miss Coco says she needed her a pet, so she went and got her a pet monkey. And now Miss Coco and her pet monkey are running through the streets. Running through the streets. Yeah, Tabitha, it's and like I said, you don't see anything of it. It's just the sound of those bullets that just, at first, you don't kind of, it's not that bad, but after a while they become blood curdling because you realize what is happening. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. But Miss Coco and the Pox are roaming the streets. Miss Coco and her friend, they roaming the streets, running rampant through the streets. Y'all, please protect yourselves and be safe out there. I walk around now, wherever I go, I have both kinds too. I have the one with alcohol, because you know, as black people, we love us some bleach and some alcohol. Y'all know black people, we love bleach and we love us some alcohol. The one with the alcohol and the regular ones, because I'm not gonna play with y'all. See how it kills the germs? I need to know that it kills the germs. I don't play with y'all. Walk around with them. Child, Miss Coco and her pet monkey is out there waiting for y'all. I'm not gonna play with y'all. People be looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm wiping stuff down, bitch. I don't trust y'all. Even when you go to public, I don't even use their wipes. I got my own. Don't worry about it. I got my own. Child. Because somebody was like, well, why don't you just do Instacart? And trust them dirty ass people from Instacart. Have you seen some of the Instacart people? No, ma'am. No, God. I buy my own. Crispies. And you know Crispies. You still in middle school, right, Crispies? Child, you better have a whole hazmat suit. You know middle school kids are dirty as hell. I got 91% alcohol in a spray bottle after hands that child. I'm trying to tell you. You know us black people, alcohol and bleach. Honey. We gonna bleach something up and we gonna get that alcohol, rub that down. So y'all be safe out there. Please be safe because it is real. I'm listen. I'm starting to see this more cases pop up with people having the monkeypox. And thank God I got my first vaccine last Thursday. I didn't have to go in line because now I've been talking to several people in Atlanta and they're saying they have gone places where there's monkeypox and they truly have to lie and say, yeah, I've been having sex. Yeah, I'm out here just being wild, even if you're not. Like if you go there and say, and then, because they're gonna ask you, are you having sex? Have you had sex? And if you say no, they're gonna say, well, we can't offer it to you right now. So the thing is, you're being told that you have to say, yeah, I'm out here having sex. Yeah, I'm out here busting it wide open and all of this, that, and the third. Mind you, the scary part is all of this stuff gets chronicled in databases and things that go down to the CDC and stuff. So the availability of the monkeypox. Now, I've also heard too, because I have a friend that went to like the south part of Atlanta where it's a lot of us black people and things like that. And the place that they had it there, they were told if you don't fall under these criteria, you can't get it. But they went over to the north end where a lot of white people are, where they had some. They ain't asked them no questions. They said just fill out this form. We'll take care of you right there. Child, just a mess. I ain't have to do all of that because I had been hounding my doctor. Listen, me and my daughter have a good working relationship. Okay. I told her with the first time I heard about it and the fact that they were saying that it was gay disease, I said, hey baby, hey boo boo, I don't care what I got to do. Give me one of them vaccines. She said, listen, I got you. So last week, Wednesday, she called me. She said, Georgia just got their shipment today. Can you come in today? And I could. She said, well, listen, I got a friend downstairs. I'll get her to put you on the list. And if you could come in at 9 o'clock in the morning, go ahead and come in. She said, but it's gonna be hard to get them. So if I don't go through my friend, I ain't gonna be able to get it to you because they got criteria. I said, don't worry, I'll be there at 8:45. I got there at 8:45. I was out by 9:03. I'm not playing with y'all, but it does hurt. Like I said, and they didn't shoot me right here, like like with most vaccines, you get shot right there. They put it in your tricep, And so like my arm was like that area was like even to the touch, if you touch it, it's real sore. Now, from what my doctor was saying to me is there's an older one, there's an older vaccine that does have an active virus in it, and what it does is um it gives you a. We about to get off here in a second because y'all know really be about to go live. It gives you a small lesion just so that your body can develop antibodies. But there's a newer one that doesn't have an active virus in it, and you don't get no lesions, you don't get nothing, none of that. It doesn't have an active virus, but it does. It has an inactive virus, but it just allows your body to develop antibodies for the vaccine. So I got the newer one. Thank God. I ain't got no lesions nowhere. But like I said, the spot where it is given is real sore. I just hate this stigma that it's this gay disease, as if gay men are the only ones who have sex, as if gay men are the only ones who have anal sex, as if gay men are the only people who are intimate. Because they're saying for the most part it's going to be close encounters, intimate encounters. They're saying that somebody can have a heavy cough and you can get it from that too. If somebody have a heavy cough and cough in your area, but if at this point if you're wearing a mask in 2022, then the problem is you. But that um doesn't speak to if they cough on you, the mask only covering your face. So we'll see, because it's hard out here for a pimp, man. They try to make us hermits. But we got to do what we got to do. Stay vigilant, um, and make sure that, like, from what I've been understanding, it can the sores can be in your mouth. Like when you get the virus, the sores are not just topical; they get in your mouth, in your nose, um, in your anus, making it difficult to do a bowel movement. Like, it's bad. It's seeing people on the train with them. Baby, I got a child, not on the train. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I can't do it. I can't do it. So now, but then the thing about it is, now you got to be afraid again to go to the grocery store, afraid to do anything. And the difference is, whereas, I just don't know. I don't trust everybody to get my groceries for me anyway, because they're saying that the virus can live up to like 21 days. They're in there for 21 days. Girl, 21 days. Child, child, you better not have no rash or break out in the hives, baby. Anyway, we about to get off here. It's about time for us to go see Really B at her spot. Y'all like this video, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Hit the notification bell and all of that good stuff. If you feel so inclined, you can hit your boy up with there's the Cash App information right there. If you should feel so inclined. Um, we here. I might do it around your mouth tomorrow. Ooh, I don't know if I'll be able to do it tomorrow. I might have to do it Thursday because I got a bunch of meetings tomorrow afternoon. I might, if I do it, it'll be quick. But Thursday may be a better day for running mouth. So I'm gonna try and get a running mouth in there, knowing that I'm just gonna be on it. I may not be able to do a silly Saturday this week because I'm out of town again this weekend. So I may not be able to do a silly Saturday. So glad I have free parking at work. Child. Anyway, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, person, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. Y'all know I'm so grateful that y'all spend time over here with me. Hopefully, something you learned something here today that can get you, that will help edify you and help you go about your life even better. I'm always here to help. Y'all know how to reach me. Until next time, that's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.